Hi, I'm Julie Strickland, and I had a non-traditional route to become an engineer. I was actually working as a secretary at an engineering firm when I decided to go back to school. And it was actually kind of funny because I was borrowing books from the engineers on such fun topics as in situ bioremediation. Now, if that sounds Latin to you, it kind of is. In situ means in place or where you're at, and bioremediation means using bacteria to clean up. And it's using bacteria to clean up the soil, for example, was part of the book. So I was borrowing books, I was actually formatting reports and asking questions about the content of those reports. And one of the engineers said, look, you're as smart as we are. Just go back to school, get the piece of paper so that you can be an engineer too, and then you can make more money and have more of an impact. Well, I thought about this. At the time, I was going through a divorce. I had two young children, ages 7 and 4 years old. It was a very stressful time, let me tell you what. And I said, well, I'm going to try it, but I'm going to do it safely. So I kept my day job and attended classes at Austin Community College. Shout out to the Riverbats. And one class the first semester, well, I made an A. So I kept trying those classes at night, increasing the number of classes until I got to the point where my advisor said, okay, well, you can go ahead and transfer to another college, a 4-year college now. And I said, no, sir, I am going to go ahead and achieve my Associate of Science in Engineering degree. And he said, well, that's going to delay you moving on for another semester or two. And I said, I need to prove to myself that I can complete something. So that's what I did. I completed my associate degree, again, going to school at night. And then I faced one of the hardest decisions of my life. I was told that the University of Texas at Austin, to which I was accepted, they are a day school. They do not have night classes. So if I wanted to attend and get that degree, earn that degree, I had to quit my full-time day job. I had 2 young kids at home to consider that I had to take care of. And yes, their father was very active in their lives and provided child support. However, we still needed my paycheck. So after much prayer and talking to mentors and soul searching, I quit my day job and I attended the University of Texas at Austin full time. Again, one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life, but one of the best. I took an internship with flexible work hours. I worked work study. I had all sorts of little odd and end jobs, but attending school and classes and getting that homework done, that was my full-time job. That was my main focus. I'm so glad I did. I graduated in 2006 at age 32 years old with my Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. And then I went to work for a company called Raytheon Corporation up in McKinney, Texas, which is north of Dallas. I'm not going to tell you my whole resume. You can find it on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. Love for you to connect. But my point is that I was a late bloomer. I didn't graduate until 10 years after most people my age had graduated. I was embarrassed. I felt like I had done something wrong, gone down a side street, did things backwards because I had my family first and then earned my college degree. But what I've learned over the years is there are a lot of people who have taken this non-traditional path. There are people who have gone into the military, people who quit work to take care of a sick relative, people who had their own medical difficulties, people who decided to take a break from school and try something else and then decided that waitressing wasn't the right thing for them and they went back to school. There are a number of reasons that people don't go straight from high school to college. But for me, it was a driver. I had to prove myself and I had to work hard to catch up with everybody else. That's how I saw my life and career. So when I joined Raytheon, I said, I want to be a tech fellow. I want to be the very best engineer that I can be, the best of the best. And I asked for the application for tech fellow. I used it as a checklist of things that I needed to do to get to where I wanted to go in my career. And one of the first things that I looked at was innovation. The company valued innovation, and they said, having patents is a requirement to become a tech fellow. So I focused on that. I found out that it was fun. I entered some innovation challenges. I met some other innovators and had regular meetings with them so that we can brainstorm some solutions, filed some patent applications, and many years later, here I am today. And you know what? Most people don't even know that I graduated 10 years late. All they see are the successes that I have had throughout my journey. So, friends, if you're thinking about getting another degree, if you're thinking about bettering yourself or your life in some way, I say it's never too late. You can be a late bloomer and nobody really cares. And the people who know will applaud you for taking those steps for a positive outcome in your life. Thank you for joining me. To learn more about me, you can look me up on LinkedIn, www.linkedin.com/in/Julie Nan, that's JULIENAN, or you can find me at strawberryinnovation.org, that's strawberryinnovation.org. I'd love to hear from you, and if this video touched you or impacted you in some way, please let me know. Drop a comment below. Thank you so much.